Hey, this is John Garcia from Kyuss Lives, and you're listening to Tief Investin'. Rock on.
Right, boys and girls, I'm here with John Garcia and for Radio Tief Investin'. My name is Maximilian Pütz and I'm very honored and proud to make this interview today. This guy, he's like a priest. He converted me because I was a die-hard hip-hop fan, and one day I was laying there drunk and with little other substance and listened to Kyuss. And I said, oh, that's good shit. It's really good. And now I'm also all into stoner rock, doom, sludge. So he converted me. This guy is responsible for it. The godfather of stoner rock. Let's tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, the Palm Springs story.
Well, thank you for having me, by the way. I appreciate it. It's always nice to come back to Germany, and where Kyuss have always been blessed with always a great reception. So I thank you for that. Growing up in the California desert, Palm Springs area, I don't think it was any different than growing up in any other type of rural part of the United States. I think that music and was always a passion of mine, as well as everybody that's ever played in Kyuss. And I think that it's like that old saying says, necessity is the mother of invention. And when you don't come from a bigger town or a bigger city, kids tend to invent their own venues by going out and setting up generators and playing in these canyons and making them our own private club. In short, you had four very, very hungry guys who loved to play music, who loved to write music, and I'm very, very fortunate to have hooked up with Brent Bjork, with Scott Reeder, with Nick Oliveri, with Josh Homme. I'm Chris Cockrell. I consider myself to be very, very lucky, and I count my blessings every day. That I'm even here right now talking to you is a little bit surreal for me. So it's something I don't take for granted, and something that I appreciate. And in short, that's just a quick little background and where my head's at these days.
So you guys were all friends, just jamming your way, because your sound's very unique, and before it there's nothing been like that. Is it like when you came together, it was the Kyuss sound, or did it develop over the time your own unique sound?
I think that Kyuss was in a constant state of maturity. We're constantly maturing. We're constantly progressing, constantly getting better or worse. But it was an ever forward movement, and we are constantly evolving. And I think whether we liked it or not, we are just part of the machine. And the whole vibe of things, what Josh and Brent brought to the table, was something very unique. And again, I was just very proud very, very lucky to be there and involved in such great musicianship. And it's true to the saying that I feel the exact same way I did back then when it comes to singing those songs that those guys wrote. I appreciate it more, and it's something that I don't take for granted, and I think I'm very, very lucky to be involved in something like I'm doing right now, and going back and actually, revisiting some of these songs and re-singing some of these songs, and appreciating them with a whole new light. But again, it was an ever forward movement with the music, and I think we're constantly growing.
So there's a very few artists who could claim themselves be responsible for a whole new genre. And after Kyuss, there were a lot of bands evolving to have a quite similar or influenced sound of you. So what do you think of your children, and who are amongst your favorites nowadays?
No, I don't necessarily think that I'm first of all I'm honored and I'm flattered that we got a chance to do some influencing. I don't know really if there's any validity. I don't know how valid that is, because we were fans of the type of music that influenced us. I mean, I don't know how much we did, and I'm humbleized, and I'm level-headed, and I don't want to be in a very pretentious spot, and I don't think I am. It's just that I don't know how valid that is. I think that bands like Kyuss, and Monster Magnet, Leafhound, Buffalo. Those two bands came way before Monster Magnet and Kyuss. And as far as I'm concerned, I didn't even hear about them until about 10-15 years ago. But I think they are the true grandfathers of stoner rock. I'm not sure if any of the listeners have ever heard of those two bands, Leafhound and Buffalo. But if you haven't, I think that it'll change your mind in regards to the true godfathers of stoner rock. So something to look forward to, and if you're looking for some new music, and that's what I say, go back. I think one of them's from Australia and the other one's from England. So, but again, Buffalo, one band, and Leafhound, the other one.
That's very nice of you. That's mostly like the band who appears to come up gets all the responsibility. So it's really great from you that you give credit to those bands that perhaps a lot of German listeners don't know about and definitely will check out. And you mentioned it before that you said in Germany you always have been really big, and I experienced it the same way. They kept going. There was no Kyuss playing. You were playing with different bands, Unider, Slowburn, Hermano, and they all went to get their little fix. How do you experience the German music scene and playing here? I seen you at the really great festival, Stone from the Underground, who are also very responsible for bringing all this kind of music to one place with very nice people. And you've been there last year, I think. Yeah. How do you? What is your experience with the German music scene?
I don't know if I don't know what it is about Europe as a whole, but Germany tends to stand out a little bit more when it comes to how well received we are. Brent and I have been trying to figure out why that is in general, as Europe as a whole, or even pigeonholing Germany, are looking specifically at Germany versus the United States. Why is the music so well received over here, and we don't get the same response in other territories, specifically America? We don't know. It's an ongoing question that we talk about, and we converse about it, and Brent had a very interesting point. He would like to have somebody eventually write a book in regards to the differences between the two cultures, and why this music is so well received over here in Europe as a whole and versus the United States. And it's something that's been an ongoing question about it. Back in the day, when Scott Reeder had joined the band, he was constantly pushing us three, me, Josh, and Brent, got to get over to Germany. You got to get over to Germany. You got to get over to Germany. I'm thinking, why of all countries, Germany? We came here, and I went, oh, okay. Now I see why. Because it's so well received. Of course, you want to go where people, love and want to hear the music live the way it should be. All of Europe as a whole, Australia, never been to South America, never been to Mexico, never been to Japan, and we're planning to go there this year, and we'll see how well received it is there, and what the differences are, and how they differ seems to be a little bit of an enigma, but it's something that I don't ponder over too much, but it's something that's always kind of like, why? Again, it'd be interesting to have somebody write a book in regards to the differences and why they are. So, but I kind of hope that answered the question for you.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff.
So